Thank you, Dr. J, for stepping up and being a champion level sponsor for the 2022 Child-Free Convention. Please tell everyone a little bit more about yourself and Childfree Wealth.
I'm just happy to be part of the convention. I mean, you guys are doing some great work, and it's really nice to be part of it. I'm what I call a child-free wealth specialist. So I'm a life and financial planner for child-free folks. My wife and I are child-free, so that kind of started me on this path of going, well, how does that make things different? And when I was doing my research on becoming a certified financial planner, there was never once a mention of being child-free. So that's what I do, is I help child-free people figure out their finances and figure out what's different and how does it fit and how do they make their life their own authentic life.
Who is kind of a typical person that comes to you looking for that advice?
I get people from all over. So I started only in the US. I'm actually located in Mississippi, but I do all my video. I do everything via Zoom, so I can serve people all over. I got people that are barely making ends meet, and I got people that have a lot of money, and it's a matter of when do you need support in your life? People ask, well, can you do it on your own? Yep, you can. But it also sometimes helps to have a professional look over your shoulder and go, hey, because the way I do, I'm an advice only, fee only fiduciary CFP, which means they pay me for my time, usually on a retainer or hourly basis. I don't charge them a percentage of their assets. I don't take it over. I don't do it for them. I teach them. My PhD is in adult learning, so that's kind of my background, is helping people learn.
And you've got a few other little projects you've been working on as well. I think you've got a book.
I do. So I just put out a book, Portraits of Child-Free Wealth. It's 26 stories from people all across the country, from 22 to 52, and talking about what it's like to live a life of child-free wealth. There's people in there that are barely making it, people that are rich. And for the convention, I'm actually giving it away for free. Actually, I'm going to make Cody pay for it, I think. But childfreewealth.com/book. Enter your email, you get the electronic version of it. So you can actually find people in there that are living life like you and learn from them.
You mentioned you're advice only and fee only. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that might make you different than another financial advisor or planner.
Yeah, so with the standard financial planner, you give them everything, they take it over, they call it delegation, and they do it for you. And they work on the investment side. I'm a comprehensive financial planner. So I meet with my clients on a monthly basis. We make 1 or 2 improvements each month and grow. And actually, if you're interested, if you go to childfreewealth.com, I have no cost intro meeting, 60 minutes. We kind of just chit chat, get to know each other, see how it fits, and see if there's a way I can help you.
That is amazing. Everybody, go to childfreewealth.com, put in a request to Dr. J to have this 60-minute session. It's free. It's worth talking to him. He knows a lot of stuff. He might put you in the right direction and get you on the best path to living your best child-free life. Thank you again, Dr. J.
Absolutely. Glad to be part of it.
How did you find the subjects for your film? What was that process like?
That's a really good question, because it happens in a lot of different ways, actually. Lauren, who in the film is trying to get a sterilization, I met in a Facebook group, in a Childfree Facebook group, because I was looking for somebody to help tell that story. And I was following a lot of different people's stories and ended up talking to Lauren, and she's great. Some people I met through friends who basically said, oh, you have to talk to so-and-so, like they have opinions and thoughts. I'm like, okay. So that was part of it. Part of it were Shannon and Leo, who are a couple in the film. There was a magazine article about them. And I thought, oh, they sound super cool. And I love this photo of them. So let's see if they're interested. For other people, there were people who I just admired who worked in the field, who had written about things or had really interesting stories, like, Marsha Dredd Davis. I really wanted to tell her story about her 60 Minutes fiasco, for lack of a better word. And then my gynecologist is in the film because cool. She and I have been talking about this issue for 20 years, literally. And I knew how interesting and smart she was on all of this. So I invited her to be in the film, and to my surprise, she said yes. And then, of course, my mother, who I already knew, who I recruited.
I feel like people watching this are going to wonder if they can contact your gynecologist for one, because good ones are hard to find for childfree people.
For sure.
Does she have an email? Was there a story or an arc that you wanted to tell, but someone wouldn't cooperate?
I will say that I did speak to people who had really interesting stories about their own specific cultural issues around not having children. And they were very happy to talk to me like on background, but they wouldn't go in front of a camera. And this happened over and over again. And in fact, someone I thought that we had for sure in the film then backed out. And they all basically said, my family doesn't know that I don't want children. And my husband and I keep telling them we're trying. And if I can't let them find out that we don't want them, that would be like a really big deal.
I feel like that's more common than anything, you know, even when you're asking someone to, or inviting someone to contribute to a blog post, or, you know, because behind the scenes, you would ask people to submit short videos for your website, right? And I'm sure there would have been a lot of people. I think I still have to submit mine. I'll be serious later. Sorry. But I can imagine there's so many that would want to share, but for, you know, reasons such as that, they just, they don't, because they're essentially going to out themselves and they're not ready to, or, you know, they don't have the support from.
Yeah, I think this underscores how taboo this thing still is. Like, you know, so you and I were talking, we're very public child-free people and like spokespeople, and, you know, but for the most part, it's still a really, really taboo thing. And I even offered to not show people's faces, to change their voices. And there was this real fear of what would happen if their family found out. So yeah, it's still a really big deal.
And it's interesting because you did feature Marsha and her 60-minute fiasco, which got her fired for saying that she wasn't going to have children. And that was a few years ago, and yet we're still here. And I guess, I mean, now looking back at even just what's happened in recently since the film has been released, you know, certain parts of the world we won't mention, but, you know, we kind of know what we're alluding to. It's alarming. You would think we'd be making progress. And I'm really wondering, actually, okay, this segues to a question just occurred to me. 2 to 5 years from now, where do you think we will be? And do you think that your film is going to be even more relevant then compared to now?
Unfortunately, yeah, if you would have asked me this a year ago, I would be giving you a different answer. But I think that the harder it becomes for us to control our reproductive lives and the building repercussions of that lack of control is just going to make this conversation bigger. And the conversation I'm referring to is being able to decide if you want to parent or not. And the concept of like forced birth, which is horrifying, but that's kind of where we are right now and have been for a while. So it wouldn't, maybe not necessarily like specifically child-free issues, but just this idea that we should be able to make our own choices about our reproductive lives, whether we want children or not.
Your mother has become, I'm going to say, the breakout star of this film.
Yes.
First of all, it's really cool to have parental support. And that is a luxury that not every child-free person has.
And sometimes I tell her, you know, I say, you know, everyone who's seen the film mentions you. And so many people think that you are absolutely their favorite person in the film. And she looks at me and she says, why?
When you were promoting the film, or when you were making the rounds to get the film out, did you come across anyone who was accusing the film of doing that this film was propaganda, for lack of a better term?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had press that have said that. But
Okay.
I guarantee nobody has seen the film who writes that. I will say recently, and this is post Roe v. Wade being overturned, I have had some inquiries from companies who were interested in using it for their employee resource groups.
Oh,
There's like the women's group and the African American group and, that kind of thing. And that's very exciting to me because I think it's kind of perfect, for those groups.
yeah.
Talk about workplace issues, but also life issues. And one company, this big company, they were really interested, and I always send them the film. I want to make sure they see the film before we sign a contract, And in the time between when I sent them the film and I heard back from them, Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Wow.
And they wrote back and they said, in light of the Roe v. Wade decision, we are going to have to put a pause on this film.
Oh no.
I'm like, okay, let us know if you have any questions. And I did write back and I said, I'm just kind of curious how the Roe v. Wade decision impacted your interest in putting it on pause. And nobody wrote back to me. My absolute favorite thing to do is to talk to people about the film. And I love doing it on social media. So please keep DMing me. I love to hear from people. I love the emails, but I also love to take it to schools and screen the film in schools and talk to students about it. Talking to employee resource groups that aren't afraid of the word abortion, and that's really where I get the most joy. And I think the film gets its widest sort of exposure, I guess. So I always invite people who are educators, who have nonprofits, who have companies, who have conferences, please reach out because we have a whole fabulous package to share with you. And it's a really nice way to talk about reproductive autonomy in a way that it hasn't really been talked about before. So if you really want, your folks to think about these issues around controlling our bodies and lives, this is a new way to talk about it. And if they're kind of bummed out or overloaded, try the film. Try this film. I think it might work. Might help them understand. At least that's what people tell me. So I'm very, very, very keen on that.
All right, Dan, are you feeling up for mean tweets today?
Sure.
Like mean tweets towards the child-free community.
We're getting used to this stuff now, aren't we? So
I think we are, yeah. All right, so I have a bunch of random things I found from Twitter. Let's have at her. So the first one. Now this is referring to being child-free. This person writes, it means that your genes are weak because there is a reason stopping you from producing offspring. It does not matter what the reason is, but your child-free lifestyle will clear the gene pool from people like you, which is a good thing.
What? Don't we want their gene pool to clear because the ignorant thinkers can then gradually kind of filter themselves out of existence?
But they are procreating. They're possibly procreating.
Oh, well, I would hope that they don't at this rate.
But do we want them in the child-free community?
No.
There are some people that choose not to reproduce because they don't want to pass on their gene pool or their genetics, right? Which is totally valid. And this person makes it seem like that's an insult because to those people who are actually choosing not to have kids because they don't want to pass, that's not an insult.
No.
But why do people think it's such an insult to say, oh, your gene pool is going to be gone?
My late brother and I both, were not planning on having kids, and may he rest in peace, of course. But our joke always was that our last name in their gene pool, our last name will end with the right people at least. Now we're technically not the end of the gene pool because I have first cousins on my dad's side, especially. But I was referring to them in passing. It's like, well, at least the last name ends with the two best possible people. So. I don't know. Maybe there's some similarities there. Maybe they're not. Or maybe I should be afraid of the gene pool in my family continuing. It could be it. Well, that was my dad. My dad thought that was the reason I didn't want to have kids was because I had the oldest sibling I would have been a sister that passed away at 4 days old. And she passed away from something that's now easily treatable. So my dad always thought that was the reason I didn't want to have kids. I said, we never had that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have a point, but saying that we're the useless ones, I don't think so.
Next tweet. I think the only type of person more annoying than people who constantly talk about their kids is the type of person who has to constantly remind you how they are so happy they don't have kids.
I was waiting for you to say vegan because, of course, that would apply to me as well. Maybe we're trying to subliminally tell them, hey, you shouldn't have kids. Perhaps.
Are we telling them, hey, we shouldn't have kids, or it's a choice?
Yeah, a bit of both. I think a little of column A and a little of column B.
That's true. We are doing this segment for the Childfree Convention, which is going on right now if people are watching it. Well, not right now, but, when this airs. Now, to someone who thinks that we are annoying because we're even doing this kind of event, that's what this tweet to me seems like. Like, they have no idea, but there's so much more conversation happening than what they see on Twitter.
Yep.
Let's say this person is child-free, because I kind of think that they are, because there was more to this tweet, like separately in a thread. What do you say to people who don't have kids who think what we do is just annoying, meaning advocating for child-free choices?
Oh, take a breath and actually listen to us, because if you find this annoying, well, maybe we are, but most of the time I'm willing to bet we're not.
I love that answer. We're going to leave it at that. That's perfect. Ooh. This one will speak to the Canadian in both of us. I'd rather eat a jean jacket than be associated with the term child-free. I'm offended as a Canadian because denim is our jam, but...
Yeah, I had a jean jacket when I was in 6th grade and thought I was cool.
Hey, I wear denim jackets still.
I don't anymore, but that's because I cook everything I wear.
Oh.
But I hope that jean jacket had nutritional value. And hopefully, as a vegan, I would say also no animal products.
Right.
Eat the jean jacket and send us your recipes.
You reacted to that exactly how I was hoping you were going to. So next tweet. It pisses me off how child-free people simultaneously love to brag about how happy they are that they have so much more money and so much more free time, and yet they think they're so oppressed because they get asked to do more while others are literally busy raising the next effing generation. This is referring to the workplace.
Well, some of us have lives outside of the work life. And I can tell you from experience, and I'm sure you can easily relate, as can anybody watching this, just because you don't have children doesn't mean you might not have a lot going on in the tank at one point. Just to think of how chaotic things would be on top of any existing chaos. Right. So, and I find there are fewer people bragging about how much free time they have, fewer child-free people bragging about it, because everybody is busy living life, doing things. Especially in the last couple of years of the pandemic, people are starting to realize, holy shit, life is short. I better get out and start living.
There's this misconception that we lead these amazingly hedonistic lives. And I mean, look, anyone, kids or no kids, can have some hedonistic moments. But the reality is a lot of us are focused and working on things. And if we're not working on something, we're trying to figure out what we want to work on. Like, child-free living is not easy breezy. Living is not easy breezy, no matter what kind of life you have. So I agree. I mean, we do have spaces where we celebrate. We're celebrating today, living child-free. Would I say we're bragging? No. If you look at the amount of topics that we're talking about, they're pretty serious, actually.
Not bragging, we're educating.
Right. So
it's entertainment with the goal of education.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. So the next tweet, I can't even read this out, so I'm showing this to you and to the audience. So this is, again, referring to not having kids. Shout out to my friend Megan Anderson. This is on a tweet she made. So there's no point in saving the planet if you're not going to have kids, or if you're going to have no one to leave it to, apparently. That's kind of the gist of this tweet.
What? Anyway, Antique Linda needs to give her head a shake, because less people would obviously mean more of a chance for nature to reclaim itself. That's just science and logic. less
But-
carbon emissions, whatever.
But to her point, what's the point of saving the planet if there's no one to leave it to?
Well, there'll still be people to leave it to. That's the thing with population, overpopulation, underpopulation.
Right.
There'll still be people to leave it to. If there's less people to leave it to,
Who cares?
yeah.
I think this is supposed to be a joke. How do you tell a child-free person, don't worry, they'll tell you?
I got that joke about vegans. Well, I don't think people necessarily throw it out there. I really don't. I don't bring it up unless I'm prompted to, if I find a good lead into it. And I certainly don't randomly start promoting my books randomly, just in, hey, by the way, you know, hi, I'm Dan, and I wrote a book. You know, I don't want to.
You should start doing that, though. You never know. What do you want to say to Twitter?
What I would really like to say to Twitter is don't sell out to Elon Musk. But, you know, to the commenters, I mean, they're just one in billions of people who are hiding behind their keyboards, you know, attacking, you know, doing what they know is safe for them because no one's going to necessarily come for them unless they commit some real crazy stuff. Educate yourself before you respond, because you don't realize how stupid you're going to look until the very second you hit send or tweet or enter.
And you never know, you might end up in the halftime show of the next Child-Free convention. So
Yeah,
use
or
your words wisely.
Exactly. I may read it. LeNora and I may read it. And then we'll have this discussion again.
So I am here with Silka. Silka is the host of Child-Free Mental Health and Wellness Check-In in Chat, hosted on the Clubhouse app. So hi, Silka. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start these weekly chats on Clubhouse about mental health and wellness.
I'm from New York City, and I currently work in administration. And a couple of years ago, I graduated with my master's degree in mental health counseling. And I'm currently working on my hours towards becoming a licensed therapist. And when I stumbled upon the Childfree group on the Clubhouse app, you and I kind of crossed paths there pretty quickly. And as we started meeting in our morning rooms, I felt that it would be important to offer a space in which the group could discuss topics mental health related and wellness related, and do it every single week. So I think it's going really well.
We've been doing it for over a year now. I think we've hit our
I think so,
year mark.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's this idea outside of the child-free community that, you know, child-free people live a hedonistic lifestyle. We don't have any problems. So what do you say to that? I mean, clearly it's not true, but the need for a space where child-free people can discuss their mental health and wellness and whatever's going on. Like, what do you say to people who don't think we have any problems?
Well, I mean, I would say just like any other person, you know, we were born into the world. We've existed within family settings and family dynamics and cultural dynamics and societal dynamics. And so all the things that affect everyone in the world affect us just the same. And so having these spaces where we can provide what I'd like to consider as support to the group, I think is very important to have, because we're dealing with the same everyday things that anybody else is dealing with. We have jobs, we have families, we have friends, we have things that we do. And, you know, we just do not have children, but we still are going through the same exact things that anybody else is going, you know, through on a day-to-day basis. I went to therapy for many years. I'm not currently in therapy, but I always advocate for it. And at some point I will like make my way back. And there was conversation at some point with my therapist about that, because I was going through my own struggles about what I wanted to do. I was, as a lot of us know, what we call on the fence about whether I did or did not want to have children. And a lot of my decision was very cultural based, very family traditional based. What I felt was internal pressure as to whether I should or shouldn't have kids, all the while this sort of thing in the back of my head that was saying, is that something that you really want? But is that something that you really want? And as I went through that throughout the years, I really realized that I wish I had, even from younger, maybe somebody advocating like, it's okay if that's not a choice that is right for you. And so my therapist was very instrumental in that, in helping me not necessarily voice, because my voice is my choice, but just starting that path to feel comfortable in my skin, if that was the decision I was going to make at the time, because I was still pretty young. And I was on the fence for a long time until I decided, like, you know what, this is just not what I feel is best for me. What is best for me is to stay child free. And I felt confident in that once I just kind of really like went deep into it with myself.
How has speaking out added to your mental wellness? Speaking out specifically about being child free, and even just engaging with more child free people in virtual spaces?
Well, I'll say that finding this community has been fantastic for me. It has been a wonderful thing, because for a really long time, there wasn't really anybody around, or very few people that I possibly knew were child free. And I say possibly because, if you're not having the conversations, you don't really know what's happening in people's lives. But finding a community, which was something that I really just stumbled upon, right? Has ended up becoming a really fantastic thing. You have this one thing in common for sure, right? That we are all child free, but we don't know how much other things we have in common, right? And so when I decided, like, I kind of want to speak, I want to share my perspective from where I am. Yes, it was still nerve-wracking to me a little bit to put my voice out there, because it became very real, at the time. It became very real, and I was putting it out there. And it was just extremely comforting to know that there were other people that felt like me. Some people went through similar stuff. Some people went through different things. And that was really kind of where it bloomed from, that I felt like, well, our community matters as well. Our wellness counts and our mental health counts. And we are having these conversations already. Let's take it to the next level of conversation. So it's been really great for me. And being able to talk to people from all over the world has also been fantastic, because you don't really think about that when you're honing in on your own life, your own childhood, your own neighborhood, your own city. And so connecting with other people that aren't from the same place as me has also been like really great.
I've learned a lot about the United States speaking with more child-free people from the US. It's like, what's happening this week? It's not, it's not the things that are happening here. But what is it about actually vocalizing something? Because, I'm a big journaler. I love it. I love writing out my thoughts. There's power in that. But there's something a little extra about actually vocalizing, like specifically, I don't want to have kids, or, talking about what you went through, maybe getting invited to a baby shower you didn't know how to say no to, but being able to actually speak with someone else. What is it about talking that really opens things up?
I think for me, there was a part of it that was very, very freeing, because at some point I felt like there are so many people around me sharing things about their lives, but I'm not sharing this part about my life. I'm not actively speaking about it. I just happen to not have children. People in my family and friends just notice that I don't have children, And so speaking about it was part of something that was very freeing to say, yep, this is not what's going to happen. And I'm okay with that. And my husband's okay with that. And we support each other in that. And I'm okay and comfortable and not scared to share that, because it can be very hard sometimes for many people to share that with a parent, your sibling, all these things where people are like, but I want a grandchild, but I want a, niece, I want a nephew and whatnot. And being active about saying that me not having a child does not change who I am. I'm still your daughter. I'm still your sister. I'm still your cousin. I'm still all these people. It doesn't make me less of a person because I'm choosing to not have a child. So being able to say that freely without feeling nervous was very freely, and also like it kind of gives you a little bit of an adrenaline rush because you do, you know,
Yes.
sometimes you feel nervous about it.
Mhm.
And there are people who have been child free since they were very young and they've known that. And there are people like me who weren't 100% sure what was going to happen, not necessarily because I wanted children, but because again, this sort of subconscious feeling of like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. There's a big difference between seeing a therapist and even just having a support group. And what we have is a support group, right? I'm not giving anybody therapy in our room. All I'm doing is providing a space where a conversation could be had and people can feel supported in that space. It is important for all voices to be heard in every capacity. And the point is to connect to each other. So, you know, finding people that you can connect to that are like-minded and have the same interest as you in this community is like fantastic. So I would continue to push for that. And, you know, I plan to continue our room and just keep doing that. And, you know, it warms my heart very much. And I enjoy very much that I do it. So, you know, I just want to keep doing it and keep continuing to support the community in that way.
And we're live again, or I'm live again. Hey, everyone.
I'm here too.
I'm not supposed to be here yet. We're doing.
That's okay. I'll hang out for a second.
Did you enjoy your nap?
It was nice.
It was? Okay,
Yeah.
great. I had a shower. I had dinner. I had a nap. I ran some.
And you have blue hair.
Well, okay. So I confess, before we get into the volunteer segment, I looked at the chat and I saw bangs and blue for wigs and LeNora's changes. And I'm like, this is not what I had planned. I had a short red wig planned for this second half. But I saw the blue and I saw the bangs. I'm like, well, I'm not sweltering yet in my townhouse. So I changed just for you guys. Tomorrow I'm going with what's planned. But the dress, pardon me, I'm not gonna get us banned from anything. It's blue, so it works. All right, you guys having fun? I can see your audience chat. We're going to interact with everybody in the audience now. I haven't been able to see all the comments, but I love all the conversations that I have just kind of quickly looked at. Hope you guys are having fun. How are you doing, Cody?
I'm great. I'm loving it. This is awesome. The energy's good. Yes. Everyone's doing well. I mean, the comments, I mean, I know hundreds of comments. Like, it's great.
I have to scroll through so many. I know. And also just shout out to our speakers who've already done panels, and you guys are in the audience answering questions. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Again, shout out to my Childfree Morning chat crew. I want to stay on the live stream and look through all the comments, but we have things to do. So I'm going to keep it minimized so I can see some things. So this part, we're going to do volunteer appreciation because this year we did not do it ourselves. I mean, we did a lot, but we had some help. So first of all, well, actually, I have all that information. We'll go through there. Let me see if I can do this. Yes, I can. All right. Marieke, who is currently in our speaker green room. Marieke is keeping all, if you're a speaker, you know her already. She's keeping everybody calm and allowing me and Cody to focus on the stage instead of doing both. So thank you to Marieke. She's in Ireland. She's been a huge help getting the speakers ready before they come on stage. There's a lot of moving parts. And so it's been really helpful to have her there. So thank you, Marieke. Next up, we have Katie. Katie was our business liaison. So this year we reached out to different people, and I needed some help with research and also networking with different Facebook groups, different social media groups. So Katie really helped out with that. So thank you, Katie. By the way, if any of you volunteer team are in the chat, I'm looking at the chat right now. Please say hello. Hey, Kristen, I haven't gotten to you yet. I'm not going to make anybody come up on stage unless Rebecca was on earlier. JD Helen, our copywriter. So I needed help with, oh my gosh, sorry. New wig, it's shedding. This is why I'm not letting you guys pick out my wig for tomorrow, because this one is not prepped. I just pulled it off the wall and pulled it on. JD Helen is one of our copywriters, so helping with social media captions, helping with business emails to our subscriber list, you name it. Put out the call. She was able to write up some awesome stuff. So thank you, JD, for that. Gustavo is one of our graphic designers. So again, with PR, we did all of our social media. The panels that you're seeing here, even this, Gustavo helped with the design, was really instrumental in creating a lot of the designs as well for marketing. So thank you, Gustavo. Angie Sibis. Angie was my design consultant. She was the first conversation I had before we started doing all the work for this. So she really helped me get a vision for what I wanted, or to be honest, what I wanted Childfree Convention to look like this year. Since working on the visuals. So thank you, Angie. She was a huge help in that. Jared or Cody, can you give me a thumbs up behind the stage that everything is showing up on screen? Because I'm seeing something a little bit different. Okay, thank you. If you guys saw what was happening behind here, that almost needs to be recorded, because that is just as entertaining. It's crazy, but it's entertaining. Rebecca, of course. So huge applause from our audience to Rebecca for Troll Patrol today. I'm aware that we had some issues at the beginning, and even before we went live, we had some issues. So thank you to Rebecca for keeping the chat safe. Of course, shout out to you guys in the audience for keeping the conversation civil. And I know there were some things we had to deal with. So thank you, Rebecca. And Rebecca was doing the event promoting this year with different Facebook groups. Huge help. On a side note, she was like my part-time therapist when I needed someone to talk to. So thank you, Rebecca. Kristen Tsetsi, of course, you guys will know her from Childfree Girls, and as the author of The Age of the Child. I know she's in the audience. Hi, Kristen. Kristen was also a copywriter this year, helping again with social media promotion, different email content, and for our media kits too. Thank you. That was a huge help. So thank you to Kristen. Kristen is desperate to come up on stage and talk to you guys, but I'm kidding. She's like, don't talk to me. Emma, you guys will know Millennial Emma from social media. So Emma was also one of our graphic designers. She helped put together all these graphic panels you're seeing before the panel has come out. Those graphics, she helped with that. She also designed for social media and was really helpful in production as well. Because there is, with all the speakers, with all the PR, social media, and 2 days this year, lots of production need to be done. So her and Gustavo, I forgot to mention, he was helping with production as well. But thank you, Emma, very much for your help, your insight. And also I'm going to give credit to the new color we added for Childfree Convention this year. Emma came up with that. So thank you, Emma. Ethical Comics. If you guys saw our Childfree Convention comic strips, Mika in Sweden, Ethical Comics. So fun. She even made us some GIFs, whatever they're called. There's some more we have to post later today, but all of the comics, Mika. So thank you. That was fun element. Oh, and is that 9 already? How did I go through that fast? Did I? I'm talking and losing count. This is kind of like a, convention high. I'm just here. Also, honorable mention, Lucas Cheney from, you guys would have known him from #NoKids, but now Buy Childfree. Lucas has been our tech assistant for the monthly events that we've been doing. So shout out to Lucas. Thank you for helping this year with Childfree Convention. And I think that's all the volunteers. I should know that. I mean, I've been working with them for months, and I had it all up there. Okay, as long as that was 9. Okay, what's next?
All right. Well, next up we have our sponsors. I just want to run through them again. We have an amazing offer from Dr. J with childfreewealth.com/book. He's giving away digital copies of his book for free. Go there. It's halftime right now, so if you have to click away, you're not gonna miss anything except our 2 smiling faces. Go register.
That's missing a lot, though. Come on.
Come on. But get the book. Get the book. It's a free book, free digital book. Get it. Dr. J, childfreewealth.com/book. Our other great sponsors, 365 Diversity, the Facebook group Best Child Free Life Possible, Buy Child Free, Buy Child Free. That's BUY Child Free, BY Child Free merchandise shop, Childfree Family, Childfree Journals, StopHavingKids.org, StreamYard, the books The Age of the Child by Kristen Tsetsi, and the book Wild Egg by Jennifer Flint. And so with that, let's roll into LeNora. Do you have anything that you would like to plug?
Well, I do, but I can't miss this opportunity right now.
What's this? Oh no. All right.
I have well, that doesn't help. I can ship it to you, but you should, yeah, keep it for backup. You never know. They're quite cool. All right. So, Childfree Journals. That's something that I created in 2019. This was when I was operating under the Bitchy Bookkeeper, which was my child-free blog I started with back in the day, 4 years ago. So yeah, we are a sponsor this year. It's just a cute paperback journal. There's some graphics. There's some secrets that I share. I mean, I share a lot of secrets, but there are some extra secrets that I share. But it's 139 lined pages, cute little watermark. Sorry, it doesn't really. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a lined illustrated journal. They're $12 in American and Canadian dollars. I was trying to keep it fair, and whatever the exchange rate is in your country. This is the first one. They're called the Bitchy Bookkeeper Journal Volume 1, available on Amazon on Volume 2. And this, actually, I'm just going to talk about this one. This started as a joke. This was a memo I created for Twitter, and it says, "Build to unsolicited. When are you going to have kids?" And it's an invoice for $150 plus tax, and an inconvenience tax of $500. So anytime someone asks you when are you going to have kids, send them this memo. I created that as a joke, and that became a journal cover. So yeah, you can check it out. Childfreejournals.com is the website. They're available on Amazon. Again, it's under the Bitchy Bookkeeper Journal, Volume 1 and 2, and we are a proud sponsor this year.
All right, and I will just do a couple quick plugs. Childfreefamily.com is a micro social network that I created a few years back for the child-free community. Basically, I kept seeing in forums and Facebook groups, people would ask, "Hey, where's everybody from? Where's everybody from? I want to meet more child-free people, anyone near me?" And so I created a map. Actually, I'm going to just share my screen. Let's do something crazy here. I'm going to share.
What?
Yeah. So
not live.
This is the map. Like right now, like, so when like you zoom in, like you can see all these little people. Like, hey, it gets bigger when you click on some of them. So yeah, that's
don't click on mine. Well, people know, but they don't know.
But anyway, so yeah, that's really where it came from as far as the basis of Childfree Family. And it also has the other social aspects where you can create a little profile and make friends. You can share posts. It's pretty basic. There's no algorithm to deal with. It's not going to like feed you what it wants to feed you. Basically, as soon as someone posts something, then everybody has a chance to see it. There you go. But that's childfreefamily.com. I hope folks sign up for it. It's a great backup plan for all of these big, huge conglomerates out there that sometimes go down on their own, or you never know what they might deem child-free to be in the future. We could have these large groups, that are in the tens of thousands. They could get shut down. So it'd be nice to have a backup place where we can go to if something like that does happen. Consider childfreefamily.com. And the other thing I'm going to plug real quick is Buy Childfree, Buy Childfree, BUY Childfree, Buy Childfree. If you just go to childfreefamily.com, it's the shop attached to it. That's where like you can get some cool merch, support the convention. There's also some other great partnerships we have with Childfree Girls, for example. You can support them as well by getting some merch from those guys. But it's just a great place to get child-free merchandise, and that it's going to support another child-free person. Like the convention, Lucas and I run that behind the scenes, and we're waiving anything that we make off of the convention gear, and we're giving it back to the convention. But it's a great way to know, like if you just go onto a big conglomerate website and you type in, "I want a child-free shirt," and it pulls up just a whole bunch of shirts. You don't know who that is. It could be someone that just wants to make money off of us and our lifestyle, even though they don't support us and our lifestyle. So the way I see it, hey, kind of help your own. So that's my two mini plugs. Jared, do you want to pull? There you are.
Hey, howdy.
Our director, everybody.
Hey guys. Save
Good
the
job.
round of applause. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about Best Child Free Life Possible. It's a Facebook group that talks about all the fun things you're wanting to do in your life as a child-free person. You can show your hobbies, your goals, your passions, anything that's going good in your life. Just post it on the group. That's Best Child Free Life Possible on Facebook in the search engine. I also have a child-free 5K and 10K virtual run. We're going to try to do it every end of May for an entire week. It's a free walk or run. You can do it around the world. It's just kind of bringing awareness of the child-free lifestyle to the public. You can go to wherever you're running and go wear a child-free T-shirt while you're doing it, or you can, at the end, you can just yell out, "I'm child free" at the end of your run, your 5K or 10K run or walk. And if you guys want to do groups together wherever you're living, if you want to make a group in your location, that's fantastic. But you can check it out. I will share the screen right here. And you can go to facebook.com/childfreerun. I also have a Child Free Runners group on Facebook. You guys can search that on Facebook. We also have a Child Free Runners United Strava club that's free. You just download the Strava app. It's pretty awesome. It shows you where you're running in an overhead GPS outlook view. And we got at least, I think we got 67 members so far. I think we're literally the only Child Free Runners group that's on Strava. It's an amazing free app you can download. There's posting. Also, what's kind of cool here is it shows who has the most mileage. There's a leaderboard, so you can kind of try to compete with the other members.
But where are you at, Jared? Where are you at on the leaderboard?
Today I'm not actually right now currently. Sorry guys, you just let me get out of this. I have actually gotten away from it because
Good call there, Cody. You're making him flustered.
I use a running watch now, which tracks my mileage on my where I'm running. So I'd rather have that than my cell phone. I'd rather not haul my cell phone around and then it possibly falling on the ground. So running watch is the way to go. You can connect the Strava app to your watch, but yeah.
We're shout out to Child Free Well for this comment. A child free run sounds like too much work. Is there a child free sit on the couch and watch Netflix? It's called After the Child Free Convention. That's what we'll be doing. And whoever does that the longest, I never mind. I don't know if we have any prizes for that. I just want to. Okay, we have 5 minutes left before we continue. Let's go through some comments in the chat, please, and thank you. I don't know what we want to talk about, but we just wanted to acknowledge the chat, how awesome you guys have been, and just interact with you a bit. Again, this is something that we discovered at last year's event, how awesome it is to have a fun, just seeing you guys communicate with each other, have conversations, plug some stuff, make some friends. It's virtual, but there's still connections happening. So it's really cool to see that. This wig is okay. But I will say I'm not listening to your guys' wig suggestions because this one is not prepped and it's just shutting because it's new. It's new. Anyway, I gotta stop touching it. So do we have any comments?
I want to bring up one thing. I'm training for the Miami Marathon into January. And what's kind of cool about it, I didn't expect this, is the racing bib. You don't have to have just numbers. You can have a custom name on there. So I'm going to put child free on my racing bib, and then I'll put that on my shorts. Because unfortunately, I'm probably going to be going shirtless while running because Florida and humidity and that sort of thing. So I'll be there at the Miami Marathon this year or next year, 2023.
All right. Awesome. Good luck with that.
Oh, sorry, Cody, you have to do the dress. Was this in morning chat? And then I promised that if Cody didn't,
I keep saying it.
I don't remember. I have to stop making promises I can't keep. But okay.
I mean, I probably got the legs for it. I'm like 6'1", 6'2" or something. So.
Can I? Okay, I give you behind the scenes. So I'm 5'3". I'm very short. Well, that's not super short, but it's short. I want to be taller, but I can't wear heels right now. So I am propped up on about 5 inches of towels and blankets. My feet can't touch the floor. So I have a foam roller under the desk right now because, of course, like I had broken ankle surgery last year, and I'm still in recovery because it takes a while. So I have the foam roller propping me up. I can't touch the floor with my feet because I'm sitting up higher for this. Otherwise, I'd be like down here.
So you're stuck in the chair, basically. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. And last year I kept sliding out of the chair. So this year I'm good. I'm propped up. I am 6'3" sitting, but I'm actually 5'3" in reality. So yeah, just putting that out there. All right.
Well, all these good comments. We can.
They are good comments.
Go down the line. Yeah.
By the way, so where people are asking about child-free books and stuff, yeah, plug your stuff. Also, again, we've been pretty good we haven't had any comments we've had to remove or anything. So again, thank you guys for keeping things civil. And I'm just, I got to scroll all the way back up to the morning. It's only 10:57 here. It feels like it should be 4 p.m. because it's been a long morning. But hopefully you guys are enjoying everything, and keep your comments coming. We have, how many more panels do we have to do still?
Oh, gosh. It's
Oh,
like
5
or 6, it looks like. Oh, 6 at least.
All right. So we're halfway through.
Not more.
This has been the halftime show.
Just
By
7.
the way, if you
7.
want to
7.
connect with us, you guys can find me at Childfree Blog on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, mostly Instagram. And check out my podcast, Childfree Girls, just a shameless plug in there too. Shout out to my co-hosts, Kristen and Isabel. We are in our celebrating our 3rd anniversary of podcasting. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it's been fun. And so there's that.
Like
and Cody, how can
downloads? Like
we celebrated 100,000 downloads a couple
awesome.
weeks ago. So that was for an indie podcast. We release episodes every 2 weeks. So we have, I think, 80 episodes plus our awesome Halloween episodes where I don't wear a wig. So, we're scary regular, LeNora. Cody, how can people find you if they want to connect? And then we'll plug Jared, and then we'll get off the stage.
Childfree Family. Just search most of the social sites, and it should pop up. Yeah, that's good. And childfreefamily.com is the site. Do that. I'm there for sure because I'm doing it. So.
And Jared, again, plug your.
Yeah, I got Instagram. Just Best Child Free is my Instagram, and I'll keep you updated on my running and training for next year. So, yep.
So the answer to this was yes, but they haven't been shown. So
the question is, in case you don't have visual, is there going to be something at the end of the convention that says the social media of the panelists in case we missed them?
Yeah, there were supposed to be at the end, but not at the whole end of the convention. What'll happen is these will be every panel will be individualized, and we're going to talk about this more tomorrow. But the full replays will be available immediately once we shut down the live stream for both days, and each panel will be individually chopped up. And I will have that information, but that's not going to be available immediately.
Yeah. For today, give it like an hour to process because YouTube.
No. The chopping up part, because I need to sleep. That's going to be happening
the actual
Yeah.
like today's event will go on YouTube.
Today's
Childfree Convention YouTube channel within like an hour. Usually takes a
But
little
the
while
thing
to
is
lag.
to
But the
answer
chopped
her
up portions will take a little longer, and the description of those will have the social media.
So the answer is no. Really, the answer is no to your question. You will have to go back and watch the replay. If any of the speakers do want to go back to the replay and plug their stuff in comments, feel free. We will get to that. It's not going to be immediately. Again, there were supposed to be some graphic panels uploaded or displayed after we go off the screen, but I think we scrapped that. So, yeah, you will eventually. If I'll put it this way, if you guys have any questions about specific speakers that you want to get in contact with, email me at childfreeconvention@gmail.com and I will get that to you. That might be faster than waiting a couple weeks to get the panels individualized. So again, childfreeconvention@gmail.com. Send me a message there and I can give you, because I do have that information. So I'll give that to you because I think we have speaker's permission.
All right. I'm going to play moderator here. Let's keep it rolling.
All right. See you guys in a bit.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.